All right, Gary Lee asks, if you had to sell your entire game collection, what would you spend the money on, and what would you use the game room for instead?
Well, your game room and your collection, I think, would get you a lot more cash and space than if I sold mine, so I look forward to your answer. But my collection, I've always guessed that my collection would sell for around
20,000.
Yeah, that's my guess. Like, I actually had that estimate about a year ago, and then as I added to it, I never upped that guess because you sort of just put games into the shelf and they disappear. But if I got 20, I think it would be used for like a down payment for an actual house, because I'm renting, or I was renting back in Australia, so I reckon I would have actually put a down payment towards a house. That's the only thing I could justify getting rid of my games for, because like a car, you'll end up getting a new one or whatever, or you can crash it, but a house can be forever if you get the right one. So I'd probably get a house and then do everything with every room, because I'd have a new place.
Would you start over?
I mean, yeah, you'd have to. It's an addiction. Yeah. I mean, I've never been the kind of guy that's thrown money into a game. Like, I always waited and tried to get it for like $1 at a flea market. Right. So yeah, I keep going to flea markets and buying them for $1 and then buy another house and then buy them for $1. But I wouldn't sell my collection if I had the choice.
I use an app called Delicious Library. It's a Mac app, and what it does is when you've entered all your stuff in there, it does jump out to, I forget if it's Amazon or eBay or both, to give you sort of like a replacement estimate of your collection. I'm not going to say how much it says because I think it might be a little on the high side, but it would be significant, right? So I would really cry if I had to sell my collection. Not, just because I've spent so much time. I've spent 30 years building up some of this stuff. I mean, but if I had to, well, I'd spend on hookers and cocaine.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that was my answer, but I thought this channel was a bit more PG rated, so.
Oh, right. Okay, no, the real answer. Boy, that's tough. I mean, I'm older and wiser now, and so I probably would try to invest the money, to use the money to work for me, right?
See if you can double it and then buy your stuff back, and then you have the money there. I
think if I had to completely start over, I could lose a large portion of my collection and probably not really care, because they're not all my favorites, or all that sort of stuff.
Sometimes you buy whole lots for like the one or two games you want, and then they all get thrown in the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely start over. What would I use this space for? I don't know. I already have a section in my house for music and stuff.
Build a gym and
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could.
Metal Jesus gets ripped.
That's right.
Metal ripped Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really lucky that I do have a basement down here where half of it's for art, half of it's for my man cave, half of it's for computer stuff, half of it's for music, and I bought this house for that reason. So I don't necessarily need it, but I definitely love having a man cave game room, and I know my wife does as well, because I can get down here and crank bad 80s metal, and she doesn't care.
I will say, like, you're lucky to have that app, by the way, that lets you know how much it, because there's no PAL app for that. There's no one's invested the time into making a Power be in the region of my country, how much the games are worth and how much there's no like price charting, there's no like collection app or anything. It sucks. Well,
so Delicious Library, it's a pretty cool app because you can either type in the name of the title or scan it, but you can choose. It does that by jumping out to Amazon, but you can choose which version of Amazon you want to use. So you can use the Japanese version of Amazon, the UK, if there's an Australian version.
Is that a new app?
I've been using it for a couple of years. But anyways, so and it'll give you the version of the game from that version of Amazon. Very cool.
That's very cool, but putting all my games into it now is going to be very frustrating, especially when they're all in tubs in Australia and I'm trying to remember what I've got.
Right.
But when I go back.
And again, it's really nice because you can scan stuff. And it's not just for video games. You can do books, music, CDs, vinyl,
DVDs. We're just plugging the app right now.
Yeah.
I just get paid for that.
I know. I mean, I get asked about that a lot. Like, what do I use? The only problem is that it's only for Mac. They haven't made a version for Windows, so
I'm still screwed. So close.
Yeah, so close. All right, great question. Thanks. This video is made possible in part by the awesome contributors on Patreon.com. Viewers like you can help support my videos and get access to cool perks like early access to my videos, ask me questions for these Tuesday videos, and much more. So check out patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks if you want to help me bring you awesome content every single week. Thanks for watching.